gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between. I warmly welcome you to this video on India's first Constitution Museum, which is immersive, interactive and introspective, which I wish to share with you. We shall also discover or rediscover the 24 values corresponding to the 24 spokes on the Dharma Wheel, or the circle of righteousness on the national flag of India, which are reflected at the museum. Located at about 58 kilometers from India Gate in the national capital of India, New Delhi, one can reach in about a little more than an hour, either by public transport or in a private vehicle, to the museum located on the campus of OP Jindal Global University. My cousin Dinesh and I have been lucky to be here when the Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. C. Rajkumar, and his colleague Varsha Malik, manager of the museum, were giving a guided tour to the visitor, Dr. Ali Irani, the first physiotherapist for India's national cricket team. This museum is a tribute to the Constitution of India and a reminder to protect it for the sustenance of democracy in the nascent Republic of India. Here you travel through the journey of the conception to the existence of the Constitution. It takes 8 hours to go through the museum. The Vice Chancellor and the manager of the museum gave the guided tour to Dr. Ali Irani in 45 minutes. The word Constitution has 3 distinct meanings. 1. A body of fundamental principles according to which a state is acknowledged to be governed. 2. The composition or makeup or structure of something. And 3. A person's physical state referring to vitality, health and strength. In the context of a country, the nation state, Constitution is the guidebook for governance and citizenry, rules to follow. It is the de facto Bible, Quran or Bhagavad Gita. What is the Indian Constitution? Who wrote it and when and how and why and by whom and where? How they infused humanism and universalism into the document? The answers to those questions are gathered at one place, at the museum on the campus of OP Jindal Global University. India has a codified constitution, unlike Britain, which lacks one. The Constitution of India is the collective consciousness of the people of India, which has the past, the present, and the future of the country. Here you feel the Constitution. The museum greets you with flora and artworks referring to constitutional values and democratic motifs. The miniature Gulistan reminds you of poet Muhammad Iqbal, his poetic metaphor for Hindustan as the garden. The artworks in the garden reflect and express the themes referring to justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Bharat is a sculpture by the artist Deval Verma. It is made from repurposed materials, bearings, gears, and industrial scrap. It reflects the identity of the nation-state of India with the territoriality of the country and her sovereignty. Triad of Unity by Harsha Gadda is a form of 3 lions connected at their paws, forming a Y-like shape. The tripartite structure is a homage to the lion capital of Ashoka, the revered national emblem of India. It links to the principles of unity, justice and sovereignty enshrined in the Constitution of India. The garden and the artworks evoke the identity of the nation-state of India and the fundamental rights and duties enshrined in the Indian Constitution.
The person who is holding on to the book, it can mean different things because art is open to interpretation. So holding on to the Constitution, you can fly as high as you'd like. The other idea is the makers have done their job. Now they're handing it over to the people for them to, carry it forward, carry the values forward. And in the back, this piece is called We the People of India. It shows the evolution of India from Stone Age to Bronze Age to the self-reliant age of Mahatma Gandhi. But I have a slightly different perspective. I feel that our Constitution is not just a 75-year-old document. The values and principles are inspired from each of these timelines. which makes it a very, like, not just a 75-year-old document, but its antiquity goes back at least to 2000 years, because it carries the values from Ashoka's Dharma also, like respecting the elders.
This sculpture by the artist Pradeep B. Jogdan is named as Equality Before Law. It alludes to individuality and an equal share in the wholesomeness, sharing destinies, imbued with rights, a deep sense of duty, the ideals of equality, justice as enshrined in the Constitution, reflecting the richness and complexity of human experience. The boat alludes to hope to navigate the turbulent waters from the gardens and the artworks of unity, liberty, equality and fraternity. We step in to the museum.
It's inspired from our first page's Constitution book's first page. So metaphorically, you are now stepping inside the book. The drainage alley, all of these materials showcase that we value sustainability. As a university, we value sustainability because we want to ensure that everything is put to use.
Alright, sir. Welcome to the Constitution Museum. This is a museum that has built over 3 floors. This is here on the ground floor, which is called the Constitution Academy. Here we are going to introduce the foundational ideas of the Constitution, the evolution of the Constitution, and essentially the way the Constitution is structured. Then you have the mezzanine floor, which is called the Makers Gallery. Here we are paying tribute to the 300 members of the Constituent Assembly, and also what their individual contributions were. We also have a hologram of the maker, and we will talk to the maker. And then we go to the freedom's journey, which is the first floor, where we have been in the last 75 years in history in the evolution of the Constitution. Now there are 5 objectives of building this museum. 1, we wanted to essentially create civic consciousness about the Constitution. We want to recognize the fact that the Constitution is the foundational document that brought us where we are. Second, we want to pay tribute to the people who framed the Constitution. That's what we decided. Third, we need to create awareness, especially among young people, about the ideas of the Constitution. Fourth, we want to trace the evolution of the Constitution after its creation. So the last 75 years, if you look at, when you go to the first floor, you see the freedom struggle. And the last is that we need to bring enlightened citizenry in our country who are able to connect their past, the present, and future to the Constitution. Those are the 5 objectives. Let me start with this. Very interestingly, Mahatma Gandhi was not a member of the Constituent Assembly. When the Constituent Assembly was constituted in 1947, he was busy dealing with partition and the violence happening. By 2050, when they were in 1949, 26 November, he already died in 1948. So he was never member of the Constituent Assembly. Logically, he has no place in this museum. But we thought that we need to pay tribute to him because he was the man who inspired the members of the assembly.
In this museum, history does not simply rest behind glass. It breathes. Unlike any time before in independent India, here we encounter every member of the Constituent Assembly not as faint silhouettes in aging photographs, but as living presences restored to dignity and form. Artist Vivek Sharma has carved memory back into matter. Through meticulous study, through the quiet archaeology of faded images and forgotten stamps, he has drawn these architects of the Constitution out of obscurity. Their faces, once blurred by time, re-emerge in 3-dimensional clarity, each bust a testament to resilience, dialogue, and the courage to imagine a nation. These are not merely sculptures. They are echoes of conviction, the visionaries who forged our identity with ink, argument, debate, and an unyielding belief in freedom.
Everybody of course knows Ambedkar and Nehru and Patel and others, but we have for the first time original 3D printing of each individual with their own photograph and their names are included here. In fact, during the inauguration, we invited the descendants of maybe 25 family members, and they stood here and were in tears. They were inconsolably in tears and telling us that nobody ever, recognized us. It is a very, very emotional moment for us also when the inauguration was happening. And now we made it a tradition every year on 26th November, which is Constitution Day, we will bring the family members to visit the museum. Because many of them are ordinary people. There was a bank employee of his grandfather was in assembly. These are all not all of them were great people. In the sense, the next generation is ordinary people are there. So they are forgotten. Nobody bothered about them. But we have bothered about all of them.
And here too, the voices of 15 extraordinary women rise into view. In a world that once tried to reduce their presence to footnotes, the mural Voices of Vision, created by Gautam Rahul, restores their rightful place in the nation's memory. These women spoke not only for themselves, but for generations yet to come. They championed equality, dignity, and the fundamental rights that shape our lives today.
Created it. There were out of 300 members of the Constituent Assembly, 15 of them were women. There is no original picture of the 15 women. We created this for the first time in history. All the 15 women members of the Assembly, representing the idea that they played a very significant role. That's why it's called Voice.
As the Indian Constitution invariably evokes Ambedkar's name, the museum has art forms, traditional and contemporary and postmodern, interactive and immersive, displayed across the museum's 3 floors, referring to his ideals, principles, political philosophy, and the dangers India would be facing if the Constitution of India is not followed in its true democratic sense. Artwork on Ambedkar by Madhukar Mucharla is a hand-stitched leather portrait of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, created through the careful assembly of individual leather pieces. Beneath the portrait, leather flowers evoke traditional garlands but subvert their meaning, challenging ideas of purity and beauty. The act of stitching becomes a quiet but powerful metaphor for binding fractured communities through shared ideals of justice, equality, and he played a pivotal role in the Constituent Assembly. As chairman of the drafting committee, his meticulous work and advocacy earned him the title of the Father of the Indian Constitution, reflecting his critical role in framing a just and inclusive legal framework for independent India. The interactive screen, Ask Me Anything with Dr. Ambedkar. It brings to life Dr. Ambedkar's words and vision, allowing visitors to experience this legacy firsthand through a set of questions posed to his hologram. The answers have been crafted on his speeches and writings.
You have Dr. Ambedkar, you get to talk to him. So there are a bunch of questions you can choose, and Dr. Ambedkar will give his own quote from his own language. Alright. So one of my favorite is this, which is the number 2. What was your view on the trinity principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity? Yes, good.
You see, these principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity are not to be treated as separate items in a trinity. They form a union of trinity in the sense that to divorce one from the other is to defeat the very purpose of democracy. Without equality, liberty would produce the supremacy of the few over the many. Equality without liberty would kill individual initiative. Without fraternity, liberty and equality could not become a natural course of things. It would require a constable to enforce them.
There's one more. You were called the father of the constitution. You were called the father of the constitution. How are you able to create this magnum opus document?
Well, the credit that is given to me does not really belong to me.
His original words.
It belongs partly to Sir B.N. Rao, the Constitution
What a great man.
advisor to
He
the
acknowledges
Constituent
it.
Assembly, who prepared a rough draft of the Constitution for the consideration of the drafting committee. A part of the credit must go to the members of the drafting committee, who, as I have said, sat for 141 days. And without whose ingenuity of devising new formulae and their capacity to tolerate and to accommodate different points of view, the task of framing the Constitution could not have come to so successful a conclusion.
He was so ahead of his time that he was prepared to take into account every possible views and perspectives, including who were wanting the constitution not to be passed on. He gave room for everybody to express and take into account every view, and would respond to each of those views as well.
The Grammar of Anarchy. Visitors will have the opportunity to read excerpts from Dr. Ambedkar's iconic final address to the Constituent Assembly on 25th November 1949, known as the Grammar of Anarchy. In Grammar of Anarchy, he articulated the necessity for a democratic ethos that transcends mere political structures, advocating for social justice and individual rights as foundational elements of governance.
So we have Ambedkar's famous Grammar of Anarchy speech, which he delivered on 25th November 1949, and this is a day before the Constitution adopted, when it talks about the fact that Indians place the country above the creed, or will they place creed above a very rhetorical question. Here you have an artist by the name of Sonipat, who actually was physically present here and drew this, reflecting the dawn of democracy and the evolution.
Illusion by Sibdas Sengupta. Illusion presents Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's image in a monumental scale, emphasizing his enduring presence. It looks at his representation across various histories and ideologies, inviting viewers to reflect on the evolving narratives surrounding Ambedkar's legacy in the current socio-political context. The museum also pays tribute to the man to whom Ambedkar had paid tribute for his contribution to the drafting of the Constitution of India, Sir Benegal Narsingh Rao. Sir
B.N. Rao is a very distinguished man who was advisor to the Constituent Assembly. In fact, Ambedkar famously remarked that much of the credit that is given to me for drafting the Constitution ought to go to him, as he wrote the first draft of the Constitution. Extraordinary man. After the Constitution was adopted, he became India's first ambassador to the United Nations in New York. Later became India's first judge at the International Court of Justice at The Hague. Extraordinary man, but the books of history unfortunately forgotten. We are paying tribute to him as we enter the Baker's Gallery.
what is the official language of India? Or what are the official languages of India? This question may arise among many Indians and those visiting India. India has 22 official languages, which means there is not a single official language. Because the Constituent Assembly decided not to have one language as the official language of India.
It was languages in the Constitution. Now this is my favorite, because many people in India think Hindi is the official language. It is not. We have 22 languages in India which are part of the schedule. And so we need to recognize that India is a diverse country, and we don't have any of, in that sense, the national language we don't have. And that's why there was a lot of debate in the Constituent Assembly, and that was settled by this. In fact, if the Assembly was close to getting divided and broken, it was on account of language. But Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Ambedkar were so progressive that they decided that we will recognize all the 22 languages in the 8th schedule of the Constitution.
The museum enables one to learn about many aspects of the country and the Constitution. This allows a visitor of any age to learn something as simple as terminologies such as
Terminologies that are used to get a sense of it. So what is Union of India? And flip and learn to read it. What is bicameralism? You can read it. What is called oath? What's universal adult suffrage? What is a constituency? What's a bench? What's a, people say constitution is a living document. What is it? What's a referendum? What's cabinet? The idea is flip and learn, the opportunity to learn about these terminologies in an easily accessible manner for people, including young people who may not be just going to learn. This has all the parts of the Constitution. Here we are going to introduce the elections, the provisions of elections, the first election that was there. But one of the things you notice is that the way the depiction of information is that it is easily accessible. Anybody can read and understand. Visual representation and also data to make sure that the information is easily assimilated. Here we are also very know about citizenship, but we are also a university. So what we've done is you learn and then you check your knowledge. So you learn and check your knowledge, test your knowledge whether you have understood it.
one can also discover about the artwork of the Constitution.
For the first time in the history of India, we are paying tribute to the people who drew these paintings. Our Constitution has all these paintings. So you have Nandalal Bose and his people in this academy who were all artists who made all these paintings in the Constitution. So we pay tribute to them. Then you have Prem Bihari Narayan Vaisada. Prem Bihari Narayan Vaisada was the man. Our Constitution was not typed, it was handwritten. He wrote the Constitution. And the legend has it, and it's actually true, that when Nehru was asking how much he's going to charge for it, Prem Narayan Vaisada was so smart, he said, I don't want any money, but in every page I will have my name written. And these words, Prem, is written in every page of the Constitution. What an extraordinary, this is the original copy of the Constitution. ऐसे आपको हर पेज में मिलेगा. What a negotiated settlement we did. Money can't buy anything. So you try.
One can also test one's knowledge by taking the quiz about the general aspects related to the Constitution on 3 levels ranging from basic. When I answered a question incorrectly, the Vice Chancellor corrected me without condescension, but with consideration.
The Constitution Day, also known as Samvidhan Divas, is celebrated on 26th November. True or false? I'm going to give it to you. It's true. So let's call it. So this is the day when the Constitution was adopted. So that's why every year we celebrate this as Samvidhan Divas. Second, the preamble of the Constitution is enforceable in a court of law. True or false? True. You got 2 questions wrong, but it's okay. It is not enforceable in the court.
It's just a summary of the Constitution.
It's just a vision of the Constitution.
Preamble of the Constitution is a vision document, not enforceable in a court of law. There is also a humanoid robo which assists you. You can enrich yourself with information related to the executive, legislative, and judiciary of the country. Here, you can place yourself as to how you look if you were in the Constituent Assembly.
Look up at the camera.
It's interesting, sir. You should try. It's very interesting. Look at the output.
Now look at this picture. You were handsome now, but you were handsome then too. Standing behind you.
Also notice how Indians have won the right to display the Indian national flag in public and private spaces, which is through the effort of the Chancellor of OP Jindal Global University, Naveen Jindal.
And here I will do an interview with my Chancellor on the flag case. So You know the flag case statement. I did a long interview with them, almost an hour.
The museum offers a comprehensive understanding of the Constitution of India through interactive installations, multimedia displays, photographs, text, 3D models, and infographics. Visitors can explore the significance of fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, and the institutional debates that shape the nation's constitutional framework. Designed for students, researchers, policy makers, curious citizens, and would-be politicians and legislators, the museum serves as a hub for learning about democratic values and constitutional governance. Multimedia materials present key events leading to the drafting and implementation of the Constitution, while thematic galleries provide accessible explanations of each of its major parts. The museum highlights the Constitution as both a legal foundation and a guiding ethical document. It emphasizes rights such as personal freedom, privacy, equality, and dignity, alongside principles promoting social justice, affirmative action, and respect for diversity. The museum encourages meaningful engagement with the values that continue to shape India's democratic identity.
We are paying tribute to the jurists of the country. 50 outstanding individuals who are no more alive, but all of them made contributions. Here I sat and did detailed interviews with 40 jurists, 1 hour long interview. So these are all people, all kinds of people from former Supreme Court judges, former Chief Justices, Shashi Tharoor, Ben Bakshi, across different political parties, detailed interviews about the Constitution. So this is like, if you want to have more time, you can just go and come. The first one provides provisions of the Constitution and also the important cases decided. So here the number of figures given. That means after the Constitution, what happened in the last 100 years? Including all these things, a lot of learning, you're constantly learning. And then these are all involved and interpreted rights. These are not rights that were in the Constitution. So here we are getting tributes, Krishna is there, all these great individuals. So here
presents a timeline of the Constitution's 75-year journey, which uses a combination of graphics and video screens to showcase key amendments, landmark cases, and important events in the Constitution's history.
Very interesting cases of that shape India. You will love it. Just listen to one of those cases. Again, told in a very narrative storytelling format. Come.
That's not only
The classic India story.
है ladies and gentlemen, भारत के संविधान की ओरिजिनल कॉपी.
The museum's Constitution Theatre screens the Samvidhan TV series directed by the renowned filmmaker Shyam Benegal.
कल्पना केवल एक किताब की नहीं थी, वह तस्वुर था एक नए मुल्क का, एक नए समाज का, एक ऐसी नई संस्कृति का जो इससे पहले इस संसार में कभी देखी नहीं गई थी.
But you know, a constitution for India should be and can be framed only by Indians. Now it works.
The RT Samachar installation features a vintage radio setup that allows visitors to travel through the decades of India's constitutional history. Visitors can select a decade from the 1920s to the 2020s and listen to radio broadcasts that highlight significant constitutional events from that period. This interactive experience is designed to engage visitors of all ages, making history come alive through sound.
In today's news, we take you back to the transformative decade of the 2010s, the time when India firmly solidified its place as the world's democracy, navigating through a whirlwind of technological revolution, economic
So this is very interesting. You can use the language and it covers this 80 years, 60 years, 60 years, right? 60 years of history in pick the decade and you listen.
Being here, everywhere around you, behind you, beside you, and before you. The space is sprinkled with artworks inspired by the Constitution. They evoke the values and themes of the Constitution and offer a unique perspective. The art presents factual storytelling, celebrating constitutional values through traditional and contemporary forms that connect India's cultural heritage to the everyday lives of her people. You feel that the Constitution is a living document woven into the nation's social, political and cultural fabric, shaping identity while safeguarding citizens' rights. Sujita Das' Ascending Descending evokes we the people, portraying unity amid displacement. Dynamic figures rising and falling symbolizes global struggles, uncertainty and shared human resilience across borders, identities and lived experiences.
This piece speaks differently to different visitors. So I would ask you, like, what are your two cents on this piece?
Every stage of life is being seen.
Yes, sir.
They are showing, they are talking, somebody trader is selling, right? They are exchanging, there are arguments.
Right. Yeah.
So somebody is sad,
Somebody is happy.
somebody is happy,
Yes, sir.
rejoicing.
Exactly.
Somebody is fed up of life, somebody is on life.
Yeah, and what is the spirit of we the people, who the people are. So to add to that, people also see that, like you said, that somebody is selling, somebody is buying. People see different rights being depicted here. The right to trade, the right to even protest and associate. So everybody has a different perspective to it. Some even see partition in this. Some see students generally see that each person is carrying their own baggage.
Indica by Megha Joshi is an imagined art form, a unique Indian bloom, while Indica is a modern Latin for of India. Votus Indica symbolizes the power of the people's vote as the foundation of nation building, with the inked finger represented as a petal in a blooming democratic lotus. As the Constitution's ideals illuminate the nation, each petal, each citizen unfolds in unity, forming a collective consciousness that allows democracy to fully blossom.
This is a beautiful animation. Megha Joshi's artist. Here we are paying tribute to the very idea of universal adult franchise. We are recognizing the fact that right to vote, which was decided in the Constitution, put in there were a lot of debates surrounding this idea, and that's why we're paying tribute to this society. Because there were some members of the assembly who felt that right to vote should not be given to everybody. You should have a limitation on account of education or wealth, economic status. And the others felt that no, we should not, everybody should have the right to vote. Switzerland was a country where in 1955 women did not have the right to vote. But our makers of the Common Assembly were very, very far-sighted. They decided on universal adult franchise, that through the right to vote and the participation of every other Indian, only you will strengthen our democracy and democratic institutions. That is why we are paying tribute to this. What is the
His visceral paths evokes the ever-growing, wilting and rerouting ideas of the Constitution, delicate yet resilient pathways of culture, language and shared histories that continuously bind people and nation. Featuring Braille in terracotta and ceramic, Vijay Chauhan's unread sentences embodies the Constitution's principles of justice, equality and dignity, inviting reflection on equal opportunity and freedom of expression for all. Tufan Pramanic's Playground, rendered in charcoal and ink, weaves 75 years of India's journey where modernity meets memory, revealing a nation's transformation shaped and steadied by the Constitution's guiding hand. Ankon Mitra's tapestry suspends a flowing expanse of folded panels, evoking the Constitution's multilingual pages and the harmonious movement of India's many languages as they weave a shared cultural fabric. Hovering overhead like a quiet invocation, it invites us to look up, reflect, and walk forward together under the Constitution's guiding principles toward a future held in common. Debashish Mukherjee's The Layered Portrait of Nation, formed from 320 meters of hand-spun khadi, evokes Gandhi's vision of resilience and unity, its stacked layers embodying India's many identities woven into one enduring fabric. Hands of Unity by Ashti Miller showcases the Constitution of India as a living document, capturing its continuous journey from inception to the present day into a sovereign democratic republic. Featuring hand motifs derived from the original document's illustrations, the artwork, also known as Ekta Ki Haath, is a visual celebration of the Constitution's past, present, and future, and the enduring values that inspire and guide the nation. Fragments of a Nation by Abdullah P.A. is an installation that explores the intricate complexities and pluralities of the Constitution of India, visualized in a way so as to reflect the country's rich diversity of religions, faith, customs, languages, and traditions. An interplay of texture and tactility, Homeland, by students of Fine Arts at Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, is an intricate work that celebrates the rich tapestry of Indian arts and crafts. Inspired by the Constitution of India, the panel is a cohesive framework representing the diverse identity of the nation that has been created through collaborative principles. The Wishing Tree of Justice by Sangam Vankade is a mural that aims to encapsulate the essence of the Constitution and its influence on the society. Taking inspiration from Nandlal Bose's artistic vision, it stresses the Constitution's role in shaping identity. Weaving the Fabric by Rekha Goyal. Many perspectives make a whole. Many colors make a rainbow. And many identities make India. What is secularism? The idea of community built in its varied cultures, perspectives, and identities. Nation bound in differences, and yet harmonious. Poetry Wall is more than a poetic nationalism, a time when the desire for political freedom found in expression through poetry. The poems can be read in different languages in the original purity of their expression without being lost in translation. The museum makes the Indian Constitution engaging, interactive, and immersive, offering visitors an insight into its history, values, and principles while fostering public understanding of democratic ideals, rights, and civic responsibilities. The 24 spokes on the Dharma Chakra on the national flag of India echo here. They symbolize the principles of righteousness, justice, integrity, and good governance. The virtues are neither old-fashioned nor newly fashionable, but eternal. By bringing the Republic to the public here, the 24 virtues echo here. They allude to humanism and patriotic duty, national responsibility and universalism. They are altruism, courage, empathy, faith, goodness, graciousness, gentleness, hope, humility, justice, kindness, knowledge, love, mercy, morality, patience, peacefulness, righteousness, self-control, sacrifice, selflessness, sympathy, truthfulness, and wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between, I wish I had been to such an institution when I was a student at Delhi University. Though never late in life for learning, I am here. Dr. Ali Irani's words after seeing the museum are:
Morning everybody. Today is 8th of September 2025. I came to this museum. Unbelievable. Never heard, never seen. It just took me back by maybe 75 years. And so much to understand about the Constitution of India. Well done. Rajkumar, unbelievable. I would like to come again and spend more time and visit all the 3 floors again. All the best. Great job. Unbelievable. Thank you.
I sincerely wish you will visit the museum with your friends or family or classmates or college mates for the sheer joy of traveling.